Hi, I'm Allison, Reference Librarian at the Massanutten Regional Library. This month's book talk is in celebration of Native American Heritage Month. The Sentence by Louise Erdrich. This particular story takes place in a small independent bookstore in Minneapolis that's haunted by the ghost of its most annoying customer named Flora. And the haunting continues with the pandemic and the protests surrounding George Floyd's murder. The characters are a motley group of Native American booksellers. Tookie, an Ojibwe woman and the narrator for the novel, has a complicated past of being formerly incarcerated, yet found the power of books to help her survive during that time. This book is funny in parts. All Erdrich's characters are enthralling, and her dramatization of why books are essential to our well-being is powerful. This book reckons with ghosts of both specific people and the shadows resulting from America's violent, dark habits. If you haven't read any works by Louise Erdrich, The Sentence would be my suggestive start. The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This one seamlessly blends classic horror and a dramatic narrative with sharp social commentary. The Only Good Indians follows 4 American Indian men after a disturbing event from 10 years past involving an elk on sacred land that puts them to a desperate struggle for their lives. Tracked by an entity bent on revenge, these childhood friends are helpless as the culture and traditions they left behind catch up to them in a violent, vengeful way. This is a classic tale of revenge horror oscillating among eerie moments, violent action, and overarching sense of dread. With close narrations from 3 of the 4 men and 1 of their teen daughters and the elk herself, there is an intensity of breathless desperation that lurks just under the story's surface, giving the sense that everything that is about to happen, no matter how terrible, is inevitable and cannot be stopped. It is also a heartbreakingly beautiful story about hope and survival, grappling with themes of cultural identity, family, and traditions. If you like Jordan Peele, this horror story reads the same as a Jordan Peele movie. Fool's Crow by James Welch. This is a classic story. This is the story of the Lone Eaters clan of the Blackfeet Indians in the post-Civil War years. The slow invasion of the Napaquans, or whites, is inevitable and coincidental, however. As we follow White Man's Dog, later renamed Fool's Crow, we see how some of his people try to follow the Napaquan ways, others rebel against them, and many ignore them. This extrinsic force has both subtle and obvious methods of eliminating the tribal ways, and we watch individuals, families, and traditions crumbling. This novel is like finding a lifestyle preserved for a century and reanimated for our benefit and education. I recommend this to anyone who wants to see what we have lost and read a fine novel in the process. While there's not much narrative propulsion, the almost ritualized treatment and the many details of Indian culture lend the book a special quality of respect. The Grass Dancer by Susan Power. Power writes about her people, the Sioux of North Dakota. Each chapter can stand alone as a short story, but recurring characters provide unity. It flows seamlessly back and forth in time from 1864 to 1982. The characters are Dakota Sioux and their spirit ancestors. Residents of a Sioux reservation endure poverty, epidemic, illness, injustice, and no less importantly, jealousy, greed, anger, and unrequited love. A collection of related stories tells of unforgettable people like Anna Thunder and her mother Mercury, who weaves spells over young men. Of this guy, Harley Wynn Soldier, whose mother doesn't speak, and the young grass dancer Pumpkin, with whom he falls in love. And also included is white teacher and counselor Jeanette McVeigh, who struggles to identify with the Sioux. There is magic, there are ghosts and spells, not to mention a scruffy dog named Chuck Norris. This is a classic to be read over and over. Red Clay, Poems and Stories by Linda Hogan. This is a compilation of work which appeared in 2 previous volumes, Calling Myself Home and That Horse. Her introduction poetically speaks to her traditional approach that she takes as she shares her journey to her self-home. For this, I share with you the title poem, Red Clay. Turtle, old as earth, his slow neck has pushed aside to bury him for winter. His heart beats slow, and the fish are embedded in ice. I photograph you at the potter's wheel, the light and the dark of you. Tonight the turtle is growing, a larger shell, calcium from inside sleep. The moon grows, layer on layer, across iced black water. On the clay your fingertips are wearing away the red soil. We are here, the red earth passes like light into us and stays. So that's our book talk for November. Come by the library today to explore our collection by Native American authors, storytellers, poets, actors, and movie producers. We have these books and many more on display on our main. In the meantime, happy reading.